What is up, everybody? This is Anthony with the VR Game Rankings YouTube channel. And of course, it is another day, another dollar. And it is Monday. It's August 27th, 2018. This is episode 183 of the show. And Tezrim, once again, is first in the house. Fluke Rogi also jumping in. Do I need popcorn for this stream? You might a little bit later in the show. Steven Sales, haven't seen him in a minute. Kev Gret in the house, and lots of people. Tezrim just finished watching Cyberpunk 2077 gameplay. Noah is in the building, and Noah, it's a good thing you showed up because we do have Magic Leap news to get into today. Unfortunately, it is not happy Magic Leap news. We have some Palmer Lucky Magic Leap related discussion that is coming up a little bit later in the show. Chris Cox is in the building. Kev Gret talking about Firewall is coming. Yeah, tomorrow. Firewall 0 Hour will release. Bow to Blood will release, which according to Roy Schwartz has gotten great reviews from people that have previewed it. Noah isn't too worried about the Palmer Lucky situation. That's good. Yeah, we have to take everything with a grain of salt, but it'll be interesting to go over the comments and the stuff that Palmer Lucky was talking about. And then, of course, Torn is tomorrow. That's actually the one that I'm kind of looking forward to. I'm actually looking forward to Torn a little bit more than everything else. The other thing I wanted to get into today, I wanted to talk a little bit about Santa Cruz and some of the information that came out last week about Santa Cruz. I have some unfortunate news, though, from the standpoint that I was hoping to wake up this morning and basically spend a bunch of time looking at all the Santa Cruz information so I can have a really good take on Santa Cruz. And then all this other stuff happened, completely unrelated, that I had to deal with, taking my kids to school, giving my wife a ride to her job because her car, there was a problem with her car, just a whole bunch of drama. And so I wasn't able to really look at anything, so I'm going to have to kind of go off the cuff here. This is going to be another one of those off the cuff shows. So, sorry about that, but we'll try to do the best job that we can, and we'll try to get into some stuff here. This trailer is just, what is that game? Yeah, Summer Funland, which is a game that I've tried out. It's kind of similar to Carnival Games and Pier Arcade, whatever that one was. A lot of different games like this we've had. I've tried this game. I actually like this. I thought it was pretty good. I especially like the underwater ride that you go on in this game. I almost think this game is worth it for that alone. So that's a pretty cool game right there. But let me go ahead and break out. Might as well. That's the underwater part I'm talking about. That is really, really good. I honestly think they might want to break that out for like $6.99 or something and make that its own thing. I think it would do quite well. But let's go ahead and get into the normal intro. Yeah, VR Game Rankings is the name of the channel. Daily Vlog Live, that is our show. We're up to episode 183. It is Monday. It is August 27th. And this is the start of a brand new week. And we're hoping there's going to be a lot of good stuff this week. I'm definitely hoping to get my hands on Torn and be able to play that. I am excited about that for tomorrow. Firewall 0 Hour, I am buying that. I absolutely am buying that, but I am going to wait until September 1st and order it. It has something to do with this credit card I have where I have to make so many purchases each month, so I might as well wait an extra day because I'm not that hyped on it. And I should be able to get it without problem, maybe from Target or something. Sometimes Amazon.com, speaking of that, let me go ahead and grab the image here. But sometimes what Amazon does is, like, if you pre-order a game from Amazon, you will sometimes get like some kind of a special deal, So this is the Firewall 0 Hour. aim controller bundle. And usually if you order something from Amazon, you'll get a slight discount off of that. And that is a cool thing. But I don't think they're offering anything like that. I didn't notice any discount. It's just straight up $79.99. So I can go ahead and buy this anywhere. So I might just end up buying it from like Target or something like that. And I basically really just want the aim controller, to be completely honest. I want to play Farpoint. I was about to say Firewall. I want to play Farpoint. I don't really care that much about Firewall, but since I'll have the game, I should probably jump into that, I guess, and play it as well, right? But I'm really after that aim controller, and then hopefully trying the aim controller out in some other PSVR games. And there's also stuff like is it Unearthing Mars? It's coming up later in the month, and then Evasion, which looks like it's really good on PSVR. So that's kind of what I'm hoping to do there. So I'll probably go ahead and grab that on September 1st to get, it's a credit card thing. It's too long of a story to explain. But yeah, so looking forward to that. So lots of good stuff. This could be an exciting week. Definitely looking forward to all of that. So why don't I go into the Santa Cruz thing? Let me see here. I know I grabbed a Santa Cruz video, just the old classic video we've all seen a million times. So what happened with Santa Cruz? What is the news with Santa Cruz? So I was in Hawaii, and occasionally I would have 10 minutes here or 15 minutes there before we were heading to some beach or some waterfall or Waimea Canyon or any of these different places that we went to. I'd have a little bit of time. I'd hop on to Upload VR and Road to VR, and I'd hop onto the subreddits. And there was talk about Santa Cruz, but all I saw was the headlines of it. So I didn't see like the meat of the story. And apparently what this is I guess Upload VR, was it Upload VR that had it? They have some inside source that is telling them that Santa Cruz is scheduled to launch in the first quarter of 2019, and that also a lot of the biggest Oculus Rift games that people know and love, they are going to be trying to do their best to port these games over to Santa Cruz. And so that's what I heard. Now, if there's additional information, go ahead and pop it into chat. Because I was going to try to like read as many stories on this as possible and try to dig a little bit deeper into it this morning, and it didn't happen. So I'm just going to kind of go off the top of my head here. But if anybody has any additional information. So first of all, first quarter 2019. Oh, the other thing that we heard about Santa Cruz is you probably want to go to Oculus Connect 5. You might actually get hands-on time with the finalized consumer version of Santa Cruz. You might find out the name of Santa Cruz, the official name that it's going to have. You might find out the price. You might find out specs of the device. I actually was approved to go to Oculus Connect 5. I went ahead and submitted an application to go to Oculus Connect 5, and I was approved, but it's $300. It's $300. And I decided, you know what, should I spend $300 to go to Oculus Connect, or should I take that $300 and give it to one of you guys for a 1080 Ti, probably some more than $300, I would say, but I just think that's a better idea. So I basically am going to pass on Oculus Connect 5, which is unfortunate, because I would have liked to have gone there and to be there firsthand and maybe actually get hands-on impressions of the Santa Cruz headset and check that out at Oculus Connect in San Jose. But I just couldn't justify 300 bones. I figure that money is better spent upgrading my video card. So I think that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. Oh, Chris Cox is saying you might get a free Santa Cruz. Well, yeah, if somebody wink winked at me that I would, be sitting in my Oculus Connect chair, and they say, "Hey, look under your chair. There's a free Santa Cruz. It's not going to be available for another 6 months, but yeah, you get it free right now." Don't think that's going to happen. I don't think Oprah Winfrey is going to be there and give me a brand new Volkswagen Bug or something along those lines. But yeah, it would have been cool to go there, but I'm going to take that 300 and invest it into a new video card, new for me at least. But basically, my theory on Santa Cruz, I do think this is an incredibly important product for the future of VR. And the reason I think it is so incredibly important is because that one word, the word that I like to talk about is friction. I think the biggest negative thing that we got going on in the world of VR gaming, period, is friction. And Santa Cruz, this could be our ticket to eliminating friction. You just put the headset on, you got 2 controllers, it's 6 degrees of freedom on the headset, it's 6 degrees of freedom on the controllers, you got inside out tracking, you don't got to worry about setting up USB sensors or cameras or any of this other bullshit. I was just using my Oculus Go last night, in fact. I wanted to check out a quick Oculus Go experience, which I'm going to talk about a little bit later today. Nothing major, not a huge experience by any stretch of the imagination, but I grabbed my Oculus Go. I didn't put any headphones on it or anything. I just wanted to check something out real quick. I popped the thing on, got it onto my head, right, was in it, and was up and running in a matter of seconds. They've done a marvelous job with the, I keep looking over here because that's where my Oculus Go is sitting. But Oculus has done an absolutely bang up job with the Go from a standpoint of reducing friction. Now the controller is a little bit sketch. On the friction standpoint, it would have been nice if it was 6 degrees of freedom. I always feel like my Oculus Go controller is like over here. You see the laser pointing. You're holding the controller right here, but it seems like it's way over here. It's a little bit weird on that, but it's the elimination of friction. That's what it's all about. And that's where this Santa Cruz could be really huge in this regard. Now, of course, a lot of people wonder, well, what about the price? Well, Oculus is talking about how they want to convert some of the best Oculus Rift experiences, try to water those down and get them onto the Santa Cruz. And the question is, can they get maybe 75% of that experience working on the Santa Cruz? And I believe the answer is yes. And the reason I think the answer is yes is just look at the Oculus Go. We know that the Santa Cruz is going to be leaps and bounds ahead of the Oculus Go in processing power. And I've already seen on the Oculus Go with games like End Space and games like Kin, you can get a lot, and Blaze Rush and stuff like that. You can get a lot of that experience. A lot of it shines through. And now this is going to be more powerful. Now we're not going to be playing Robo Recall. I would have to imagine something like Robo Recall is going to have to be really watered down to try to work on the Oculus Go. The Santa Cruz. And the other major question too is what is going to be the graphics processing unit that they are going to have in here? Is it going to be a Qualcomm 435 Snapdragon? That is my hope, but I don't know what that's going to do to the price. And then, of course, there's the question of price. You can buy an Oculus Go right now for $199 if you just want the bare bones version. That is incredibly mass market price. It's a wonderful situation to be sure. You can get yourself a brand new Oculus Rift for $400, sometimes $350 when Best Buy is having a special deal or somebody is having a special deal. So where is the Santa Cruz going to come in from a pricing standpoint? Now, here's my suggestion for Oculus, and this might piss some of you off, but my suggestion is Oculus, price this thing at $599.99. Now, I know that's going to piss a lot of you off immediately because you're going to be like, no, that's way too freaking expensive. $599, get the hell out of here. That's way too expensive. There's no way the Santa Cruz should cost that much. But here's my argument. My argument is you want to make this thing as future proof as you possibly can for a couple of years that people are going to be using this Santa Cruz until you're able to replace it with another device. And I'm saying get that 435 in there. Get that Snapdragon 435 in there. And to be able to get it in there, you're probably going to have to be at that $599. Remember, this comes with two controllers that are motion 6 degrees of freedom. It comes with a 6 degrees of freedom headset. It has all the processing inside it, the battery inside it. It is a standalone unit. And the second that this thing drops, the second that Santa Cruz is available, it is stuck. Whatever it has inside it, it is locked in. That's what it is going to be. And that's what it's going to be for the duration of its life. For example, let's take a look at the original Oculus Rift. When they released the original Oculus Rift, the optics, everything that it has, it is a locked in deal. And so you have to wait for consumer version 2. And then that's when they can make improvements, adjustments, and all those kinds of things when consumer version 2 is. So they're going to be stuck with the Santa Cruz that they deliver. And I say go in on the high end, $599. You can always, you can juice all of the early adopters. You can bring it down to $499, and then you can get it down to $399. I don't know. Am I crazy? Is that too much? I feel like they should go kind of high end with this thing because they got the Go. They got the Go on the low end. This is more of the high end, and it's going to get cheap enough, quick enough, that I think that might work out. Maybe $499. I mean, if they can squeeze it all in there for $499, that would be even better. But that's kind of what I'm hoping for in regards to Santa Cruz. And we'll have to see how good the ports are when they're ported over from the Oculus Rift, how decent they are. I think the controllers, just like having legit hand presence and having 6 degrees of freedom on the headset, doing all of that, having no wires and being able to just turn around and do everything, I think that is a big deal. I really like that. So that's my thoughts on Santa Cruz. I guess we'll have to wait and see. That is going to be a little bit later in September at Oculus Connect 5. Okay, let's see, what else can I go into? Well, since I did bring up the Oculus Go, well, actually, no, wait, before I bounce out of here, I'll throw on a different trailer, though, because I've been running that trailer into the ground. Let me get back here. Where am I? Okay. Hold on a sec. A little bit of dead air there. So let me throw on some other random trailer. I'll just throw in this little Half-Life 2 green light trailer to make us dream about Half-Life 2 in VR whenever that is going to happen. Push the Button is in the building. Hi, everybody. Hey, Push the Button. Did you check out my pictures from Hawaii yesterday? They were all green screened. They were all completely phony. And I was really proud of the green screened where I'm holding the phone, the fake phone booth. That looked really real, didn't it? Okay. But let's see what people are saying in chat. I am going to actually go back a little bit. Let me turn down my trailer window. Okay. So in chat, let's see what people are talking about in regards to the Oculus Santa Cruz. Steven Sales says, I don't care about resolution. I care about friction. The Oculus Go shows this exactly. Chris Cox says, I think the fact Gorn is now on Oculus is a good indication it will be available for the Santa Cruz. Nick Daniels says, I don't get it. Is it working with a PC or is it like Oculus Go? It is like Oculus Go, but it's supposed to be like Oculus Go on steroids. Where the Oculus Go, 3 degrees of freedom on the headset, 3 degrees of freedom on the controller, 6 degrees of freedom all the way around. So true hand presence, being able to lean in, lean out, all of that is beautiful. Steven Sell says 835 is my bet, but I wish it was going to be an 845 so badly. Yeah, I am really, really hoping for that. But if I'm going to play at home, I might as well, this is hybrid. If I'm going to play at home, I might as well stay plugged into my PC, even for the higher resolution and super sampling. My chat, my stream looks like it's messed up a little bit here. I don't know if it's because I was on that video window. Can somebody tell me if the stream is all jacked up right now? Charles Van Nolan says, I'm stoked on Santa Cruz all day. Standalone is the end game for VR. That's Charles Van Nolan. Paradise Decay checking in. What is going on, Paradise? And Push the Button says, I like standalone. Hope they will be better in the near future. Stream seems normal. Okay, so the stream looked weird for me. It looked like it was kind of dying there. But basically, yeah, I mean, that's my thoughts. I do, especially having had the Oculus Go for the time that I've had it, standalone VR is, I think it really is the future. We got to cut the cords, ladies and gentlemen. I know you guys want your super high-powered PC experiences, and I understand that, but goddamn, we got to cut the cord. Okay, let's see. So that is that. Let's see what else I can go into. Oh, so anyway, there was this little experience I tried on the Go last night, and I'll go ahead and throw this trailer on. And it's nothing major. It's called The Coast. It's a free music experience. You can check this out for a second. Okay, so that is called The Coast, and I saw somebody mention this. I think it may have been on the Oculus subreddit or somewhere. I saw somebody mention this, and they were talking about it's free, it's on the go, and so I thought, well, let me grab my Go, download this, check it out for free, and I did, and that's the thing about friction. That's where I get back to the friction, is I grabbed my Go, I turned it on, I downloaded this thing in like a minute or two, and then boom, I was in it, I was experiencing it. It's nothing spectacular. It's like a little music video with very simplistic graphics, but the music works well. You're holding your little Oculus Go controller, and you can kind of move it around, and you're kind of doing a little bit of some tilt brushy stuff as the music thing is moving along, and you go through these caves, and it's kind of lit up, and it looks pretty cool. And there's nothing special about this thing, The Coast. I'm not trying to tell anybody, run out there, download The Coast. Oh my God, you got to experience this. This is awesome. I'm not saying that in any way, shape, or form. But what I am saying is, those of us that are into VR, especially on the Rift, the Vive, and like Oculus Go, we have got a shit ton, a literal shit ton of really cool free experiences that we can download and try out. And we're blessed. We truly are blessed. If you were, I used to belong to this website called Cheap Ass Gamer. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but there's a website. You can Google search it, cheapassgamer.com, right? And I belonged to this website back in the flat gaming days, and I would go there because they would always know whatever the best deals were. I mean, these guys would search the internet down every crack and every crevice for any little possible deal that was out there, cheapassgamer.com. And there's people that don't like spending any money at all if they can get away with it, and so they will always buy the cheapest things. These people should get a VR headset. They should get a Vive, they should get a Rift, or they should get an Oculus Go. And the reason why, there's so many free experiences. There's so many free things you can try. There's so many little demos. You can literally get one of these headsets and not pay any money, and you can live for a while off a ton of free experiences. And this thing, The Coast, is another example of that. So I'm just saying, like, there's so many cool free experiences. We are truly blessed as far as that goes. But let's see what people are talking about here. I missed yesterday because I was trying out the Jurassic World VR experience at Dave & Buster's. That's Crunchy. Yeah, we haven't seen Crunchy in a minute. I believe Steve has also tried this Jurassic World VR experience. Steve from VR Roundtable. We haven't done an episode since then, though, so I haven't heard his thoughts yet, I don't think. Chris Cox is saying, if it's for gaming, you need the power of a PC or console. Well, I don't know. You give us a Snapdragon 435, maybe not. Tom Lloyd says we can cut the cords once graphics can play AAA games, NVIDIA Now service might be the answer. It's designed to let AAA games be playable using low-end laptops and crap PCs. Kev Gretz says Kaggers used to be a good group of people. Now they are just savages who look for glitches and price mistakes. Yeah, Kaggers is cheap ass gamers. And there's also a cheap ass gamer podcast that I listen to quite often. They had a pretty good podcast as well. Silver, I'm not going to do the X's. Silver, at the moment, VR needs dual functionality, mobile and tethered, for the same unit. That's actually a pretty interesting idea. How cool would that be if you could use this Santa Cruz as a straight up Rift as well, if it had a plug that you could use and you could use it as a Rift? That would be kind of cool. That would be an interesting idea. Now, somebody had a comment a little bit earlier that, let me see if I can find the earlier comment. There was an interesting comment where somebody was talking about not liking, or let's see, where was it? Let me find, there was a comment I saw that I thought was interesting. Damn it. Of course, now that I want to see the comment, I can't find it. Somebody was saying that they don't want standalone. They were saying don't use standalone because it's going to be a problem or something. And it was an interesting comment. Oh, okay. Nick Daniels. Here it is. Nick Daniels says, I don't agree. My opinion is that standalone VR harms VR in general because it doesn't provide AAA experience to newbies. But see, here's my argument, Nick. I understand exactly what you're saying, Nick. You think that it needs to be bam, it needs to be incredible. You need to experience something that is just freaking mind-blowing to overpower the newbies. But the problem is, all the friction is going to kill it, man. It's going to kill it. The newbies are more concerned about friction than they are being wowed by polygons and ray tracing. I really believe that. Like, one of the reasons a lot of gamers aren't into VR yet is because the idea of putting a headset on and doing all, it's just too much. They just want to sit on a couch and play a game. It's so much easier. There's less friction. I really think friction is just freaking key, man. I truly think friction is key. I understand your comment there. I absolutely do. And it is definitely, it's a valid comment. No question. Okay, so let's get into the fact that Palmer Luckey absolutely ripped Magic Leap a new one. And there's our boy Palmer Luckey with a Magic Leap 1. And we didn't know this guy was going to shite all over Magic Leap. So he has his blog, the blog of Palmer Luckey. Magic Leap is a tragic heap. And, Palmer knows his stuff. And so here's some of the comments that he had. The cables are robust, and the weight tugging at the back of your head actually helps counterbalance things a little. They should have made the battery replaceable, but nobody is going to use their Magic Leap 1 long enough for that to matter to anyone but collectors with an aim to preserve the history of AR and VR. Oh my goodness. That is a sick burn right there. He's saying no one is ever going to use this long enough for it to matter except for collectors. That Magic Leap 1 is a collector's item. Too long, didn't read. The supposed photonic light-filled chips are just waveguides paired with reflective sequential color Lycos displays and LED illumination, the same technology everyone else has been using for years, including Microsoft in their last-gen HoloLens. The Magic Leap 1 is not a light-filled projector or display by any broadly accepted definition, and as a bifocal display only solves Vergent's accommodation conflict in contrived demos that put all UI and environmental elements at one of two focus planes. Mismatch occurs at all other depths in much the same way a broken clock displays the correct time twice a day. Then he refers to this picture that was in the Magic Leap Wired article. This, I guess, is supposed to be the Beast. This was the thing that people would stick their head in and look through it, and it was like, oh my God, this is the answer. This is Valhalla. This is the dream. And what he's saying about this, above is a telling picture from a piece Magic Leap did with Wired Magazine a couple years ago, back when they were still hyping up scanning fiber displays. See the fancy looking high-tech light up strands? They don't do anything. It is just electroluminescent wire. It looks great to casual observers, but does not hold up to any kind of scrutiny from people who are in the know. If you want to try using it to dress up your own costume, gaming PC, or multi-billion-dollar hype machine, you can buy a nice assortment for $20 here. Yeah, he's talking about these strands, these electroluminescent wires that are coming out of the beast, and he's saying, look, you can go to this website and for $20 you can get an EL wire starter pack, 2.5 meters, available in various colors. And basically it's kind of hilarious here. So I mean, Palmer Luckey, no question about it, absolutely rips Magic Leap a new one. I do highly encourage everyone, bounce over to his blog, the blog of Palmer Luckey, read the entire thing. He does not completely shit all over the Magic Leap totally. Like, he does have good things to say about it. I just happened to highlight some of the stuff where he really was talking major smack, but he still does say a few good things about Magic Leap. But the basic gist of what he's saying is that what Magic Leap is doing is not going to do anything for consumer AR. And in fact, Magic Leap was more of a downer for consumer AR from the standpoint that they soaked up all of the funding that should have been spread around to all types of other companies and other startups. Instead, all the funding funneled into Magic Leap. It was all focused into Magic Leap. They soaked up all that funding. And what have they done with their billions and billions of dollars? That he was saying Magic Leap 1 is like HoloLens 1.1. It's not even HoloLens 1.5. And so he was talking major smack. And honestly, I mean, I can't disagree too much with a lot of the stuff he was saying. He was harsh on it, no question, but I don't know that he was really out and out lying about anything. Okay, so here's what Noah's saying about it. I'm still not too worried. I know what's being built for Magic Leap, and it's good. So Noah's under NDA. He's got a 2-year NDA. So Noah might get to see the true magic sauce that is going on there. Push the button, says Magic Leap is too early. Wait 5 years. RJH, how many billions did Magic Leap raise? I believe they raised about $3 billion, and I believe they have an actual valuation of near $6.5 billion. They raised about $3 billion, but they're valued at about $6.5 billion, but I don't know if that value's still there now. Oh, the other thing that Palmer Luckey was talking about here, I'm going to go ahead and switch off of this little trailer because we don't need all of the quotes anymore. It's really small anyway. I'll just throw in my little Magic Leap montage. Noah, are you hoping you get that red one? That red one would be so cool. If they gave you like a special edition Magic Leap, that would be sweet. But what Palmer Luckey also said is that, oh man, now I forgot what the hell he was talking about. Wait, what did he say? Ah, damn it, I completely forgot. But basically, Magic Leap 1, certainly it's a bit of a disappointment in some of these regards. But you got to go back to the investors, and you got to go back and wonder why were they valued at okay, I remember what he was talking about now. What he was talking about is he did some predictions on how many Magic Leap 1 headsets have sold in the first week. And he basically believes they sold 3,000 headsets, because he said that he has about 100 people that he knows that have Magic Leap 1s. And by looking at the time and looking at their order number, he was able to kind of suss it out. And he figured it out that they probably sold about 3,000 Magic Leap 1s in that initial week of availability. And he also believes that of the 3,000 that were sold, that about 90% of those 3,000 were sold in the first 48 hours of availability when the initial hype was the strongest. And he's saying, in comparison, you compare that with like the DK1 or any of these other devices where there's like 10,000 of them out there, that this is a tiny drop in the bucket. The other complaint that he made is the vast majority of people that are owners of Magic Leap 1, they're not even developers. They're influencers. They're like YouTube, YouTube extraordinaire influencers. Like somebody like me would run out and get I'm not an influencer. I mean, I'm not an extraordinary influencer. I'm a very tiny little ant influencer. But that the big influencers running out buying this so they can do videos on it, they can talk about it, and all of those kinds of things. And he's saying that that's the vast majority of the 3,000 people that own this thing. Not a lot of developers own it, and he sees that as a real major tragedy, a real bad situation here. Okay, let's see what some of the people are saying in chat. Fuzzy Dragon, it isn't bad. No, it's the cancer of AR sucking up all investments. Ah, damn it. Chat is moving very fast right now, so I'll go back over to this other part here. Let's see. Hold on a sec. Let me get back to where we start getting into the whole Magic Leap discussion. Oh man, this is messing up. Okay, never mind. I'll just look at chat over here. Paradise Decay. Fluke is talking to Paradise. He's saying they needed to actually start work on something before they could put it on hold. Noah says, which were somehow incrementally increasing and for some reason shouldn't have been. Not sure what he was talking about. But yeah, so, I mean, I don't know. What are we going to say here about Magic Leap? It's good that people like influencers are getting them. That is what Noah's saying. That's good, but we really need a lot of AR developers to actually get their hands on them and start doing some stuff with this. Now, I know Magic Leap is going to have that special show that is coming up in September, I believe, in Los Angeles. More of a breakdown, more demos. See, one of the things that we still haven't seen in regards to Magic Leap, before we move on to something else, one of the things that we still haven't seen is we haven't seen legit AAA examples yet. And Magic Leap is going to have that. Jesse Pelican says Magic Leap is just simply underwhelming. But here's what I want to say to that. We have not seen the AAA demo material that they must have. The Tonati experience is the closest thing to a AAA experience. We haven't seen Dr. Gorbort's Invaders. We haven't seen any of these other AAA things. Magic Leap, remember, they had $3 billion poured into them. They have a valuation of $6.5 billion. So they can literally go out there and wave around wheelbarrows full of cash to high-end developers and say, make us something seriously kick-ass using this technology so we can wow the shit out of people. And we might see some really cool demos in the very near future. So I think we can't write Magic Leap off completely altogether yet. Okay, there's a lot of talk about Xbox and Xbox VR. And unfortunately, I was late to the party on the Xbox thing. But what I will do is I'll throw on this little Adam Orr thing, which has a little bit of Xbox stuff going on here. And I want to go to the stories about Xbox and VR. CNET. Okay, so CNET had this. What happened to Microsoft's Xbox VR? Now, I don't know what their actual theory is about what happened, but what I will say is... Oh, wait, hold on here. There's a dumb video that plays when you click on this CNET article. Don't you hate that when you go to a website and a loud-ass video starts playing that you didn't want to play? So my prediction regarding Xbox and VR has always been, well, not always, but recently has been, that Xbox dodged an incredible major bullet in regards to VR, that they don't have to support VR because the demand isn't there. Their consumers are not crying and pleading and begging for VR. Now, there was a point in time where that may have happened, and Xbox hands may have been forced, and they might have had to deliver a VR headset, and they were working on that because they knew that could have been a possibility. There was a couple years ago where it was going in that direction, but they basically dodged a bullet here. And so they were able to take their Xbox VR stuff and say, okay, you know what? We don't have to do this right now. Let's go ahead and put this on maybe a 2-year hold. We can hold this. We don't have to do this. And it's huge for them personally. You guys might be saying, wait a minute, Anthony, aren't you a supporter of VR? Why are you saying that Xbox dodged a bullet? Shouldn't you be upset about Xbox not having VR? No, I'm not upset because the thought process that I have here is that Microsoft realizes that the hype is not really there. And the thing that a lot of people don't understand about a huge company like Microsoft supporting VR on the Xbox, it is a completely different ball game than having the Windows mixed reality stuff. Because the Windows mixed reality stuff is a PC product. It is an accessory that people are buying for PCs. Well, people that are buying accessories for PCs typically have a bit of a knowledge of electronics and PCs, and they've dealt with hassles, they've dealt with things before. The Xbox consumer is a completely different consumer. The Xbox consumer goes to Walmart, they go to Target, they go to Best Buy, they go to Amazon.com, they order their Xbox One, they get it, they plug it in. These are the same people that don't know to use their HDMI cable to get better video. They're using red, white, and yellow cables. There's people out there that think they're getting HD TV, and they're not. They have an HD TV box and they're using a red, white, and yellow composite cable. That is the audience that buys regular Xbox products. We're talking about the Joe Schmoes of the world. We're talking about just the regular, average, everyday people, right? And for a major company like Xbox, if they're going to bring a VR headset to Xbox, they got to provide a tremendous amount of support. That's just one major headache. The other major headache is they literally will need to invest like hundreds of millions of dollars creating an entire ecosystem of content. You got to have a lot of content, a lot of games. Sony is already there. Sony is already balling with all these games and all these experiences, and Microsoft would be starting from scratch. So I have not read this CNET article. I'm seeing if I can get some quick highlights from it. Let's see what they're ultimately saying. Microsoft's decision to hold back its VR plans come after a series of public fits and starts. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Let's see. Oculus had such a head start, Xbox head Phil Spencer said at the time. It's good for Windows and it's good for Xbox. To plant a flag or not. Blah, blah, blah. So ultimately, what are they saying here? As news spread that the Xbox VR headset was being put on ice, the justification some people in Microsoft gave was that the company wants to show what it can do with the next generation of VR technology, which they said they hope can create sleeker and potentially wireless designs. Okay, so is that what they're saying? And then here's another quote. But there's another and potentially more pressing question Microsoft would have to answer if it released an Xbox VR device. Do Xbox gamers really want VR? I haven't seen the gamer community rally around VR like they have other things. I mean, that's the bottom line right there. The bottom line right there is they were able to avoid it. There wasn't the clamoring. I guarantee you, though, there might be like a 7 or 8% of the entire Xbox user base that really wants VR, but 7 or 8% is hardly anything. Silver's saying that I'm basically making Xbox users into all kinds of loonies that don't know what they're doing. No, I mean, this is the same for PSVR user, PlayStation 4 users as well. They're regular everyday consumers. You know, it's console users in general. I'm not trying to stereotype Xbox users. I'm not saying that Xbox users are more likely to be fans of the Oakland Raiders. I'm not saying that at all. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, that's kind of my thought there. So I guess basically this CNET story is pretty much saying wireless. So Xbox is going to hold off that their fans aren't clamoring for it and that they're going to come out with a wireless solution. So didn't I kind of explain this like 8 months ago? So pretty much I've already broke this story. So basically that's that. Okay, let's see if we can go on to something else. Let's see here. What else can I talk about real quick? Well, one thing I can talk about real briefly, be the hero. Be the hero. Yeah, so we saw this trailer yesterday, and I told you guys prior to the show that, well, not prior to the show, but when I was talking about this, I said that I wanted to try this demo prior to the show, didn't get around to it. Well, last night I did try the demo, and for me, the demo was absolute ass. It was not good. I thought this demo was pretty freaking terrible. I was running up the side of a mountain. You're running along super fast. You're running up the side of a mountain, and then you get up to the top, and it's kind of like those. What are those Japanese games where there's like like Dragon Warriors or whatever, where there's like a million creatures you have to battle? You were kind of at this part right here. I was in this situation right here, and my controls, like nothing felt right. It just didn't feel good. Maybe it's a situation where I need to go back into the demo, try it again. Maybe it wasn't working right. Maybe I was having problems, but it was just ass. It did not work great. Charles Van Nolan says Oculus Rift. I'm not sure if he's asking, did I play it on Oculus Rift? That's where I played it. All I have right now is my Oculus Rift, my Oculus Go, and my PSVR. I do not have a Vive at the moment or a Windows Mixed Reality headset either. Dynasty Warriors, yeah, Paradise Decay Dynasty Warriors. That's what it kind of reminded me when I got up onto that mountaintop, that plateau where there was a bunch of enemies to battle, and I couldn't get out of that experience fast enough. And that brings me up, that brings me to another topic, and I wonder, do you guys that play VR games, do you notice this same thing? So one of the things that I've noticed when I go into a VR experience, if you don't grab my attention within the first couple of minutes, you lost me. Where if I was playing a flat game, if I was sitting on a couch, sitting on a controller, it might not be that bad. You might not lose me in the first 2 minutes, but there's something about putting on a headset. You get an experience up and running. The controls seem janky. You don't understand what the hell is going on. Everything is irritating. It's not working right. And I feel like I have a much less threshold for that type of stuff when I'm in a VR headset. And so I think it's incredibly important for all the developers that are out there that are making VR games. You're going to lose people in the first couple of minutes of your experience if it doesn't flow right, if it's confusing, if it's irritating, if controls aren't working right. Or am I out on an island? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Do you guys have a low threshold for bullshit when you're in a VR headset? Because that's the way I am. It needs to work right away, or I get irritated, I get frustrated, and the chances that I'm going to rave about something is not very good at all. Hybrid Energy says, agreed, the mechanics and immersion has to be almost immediate or else I want to go to a different experience. Crunchy says, I think there are very immersive things in VR, but it really depends on the experience. Google Earth and Star Trek are by far the best things in VR. That is Octoman's PCs. But basically what I'm saying here is I don't know, things need to work out right early on, or I'm not going to give a lot of these things the benefit of the doubt. Now, if it's a really big game, like say Budget Cuts or something, I'm going to go back into it and try it repeatedly and make sure. But just a lot of these other games, they can irritate the crap out of me. So anyway, that is Be the Hero. So let's see what people are talking about in chat. T-Bone says, has anyone here played Island 359? It's on sale on Steam for 45% off. Yes, I have played it, and it's not bad. It's not bad, but it does have some jankiness. It's probably the closest thing that you can get to in terms of being in a Jurassic Park kind of situation. But I can talk a lot of smack about Island 359 from the standpoint that the dinosaurs all look like identical clones of each other. They animate exactly the same. They fall to the ground exactly the same. They make the exact same noises. See, I kind of think like if I was designing a dinosaur game, I would have a T-Rex model and I would try to make a taller T-Rex, a shorter T-Rex, a skinny, malnourished T-Rex, a fat T-Rex, a T-Rex with a slightly different color scheme. You know, the same thing with the Raptors, the same thing with the Compies. I would try to vary it up a little bit, and I don't really see that with something like Island 359. Paradise Decay says, I prefer Robinson, and that is also on sale. Yeah, Robinson is a AAA kind of experience. You might get stuck on some of the puzzles. I think we had somebody in chat yesterday that got stuck on a puzzle and was really pissed off about it. I said, go check out a walkthrough, but sometimes the walkthroughs doesn't work. Sometimes you just have to like restart your entire game over. I had to do that with Hellblade. I had to start the whole game over to get past a part where I was stuck. Tom Barr says, can we talk about the Vive wireless adapter's battery life and pricing? 2.5 hours and $80 for another battery seems like a poor solution. Tom, you know what? We're at the very end of this show right now, so I won't get into that today, but I will try to remember to bring that up tomorrow. Octoman PCs, what I do see is movie, blah, blah, oh, I lost that one. Too many false reviews for this one on Steam. That is Chris Gould. I'm not sure if he's talking about Be the Hero or if he's talking about Island 359. Fuzzy Dragon says a T-Rex with an eye patch and a metal arm in a World War II setting. Yeah, mix it up a little bit. You know, try doing a few different things. I mean, why are we in these games, though, where the zombies are all identical? There should be a fat zombie. There should be a skinny zombie. There should be a short, tiny little zombie. There should be a tall as hell zombie. You know, give us some variation. That's kind of my thoughts. Vrium is in the building, very late to the party, and we're basically wrapping up the show. Sorry, guys. What I will do real quick, though, I have not taken a look today at the latest stories at all. So I am going to bounce over to Upload VR right here and right now and see a quick thing on what people are talking about. Virtual City Hypatia officially opens its social VR world tomorrow. That is the biggest headline on there. Palmer Luckey is working on a solution for VR sickness. That is something that we heard about. Ace Combat 7, we talked about this yesterday. Very unfortunate news about Ace Combat 7. Seems like a much smaller experience than we were hoping for. The Microsoft Xbox VR headset put on hold. We knew about this a long time ago. If you saw my Xbox special, I freaking broke it down right there. We knew about this. They dodged a bullet, and they'll get back to VR. Their hands will be forced. Don't worry about it. Don't panic. Don't cry. Their hands will be forced. Microsoft will get back into VR. They will have no other choice. It's going to be a slow burn, guys. It is a slow burn. The first public Stormland demo today, to demo at PAX West, available one day only. So, yeah, Stormland. Man, I would love to be in Seattle at PAX West. Is it Seattle, right? Is usually where PAX West is. So that demos will be taking place on August 31st at 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Seattle, Washington. Yeah, there's going to be some lucky people. Do we have anybody that's in Seattle that can maybe try that out? Give us their impressions of Stormland. That is going to be super awesome. All right, folks, I got to bounce out of here. I'm actually starting to get sweaty and stuff. Do you know that it was really cool and the temperature was not 100 degrees in Sacramento for a long time? I came back here, it was really cool, and it was kind of chilly. Yesterday I was wearing like a sweatshirt. Now I am sweating my butt off. I got a light over there, a light over there. They are beaming on me, and I'm getting kind of hot and sweaty. So that is my cue to go ahead and check the hell out of here. So let me go ahead and throw on my outro trailer. Remember, folks, tomorrow is a freaking huge day. We got a lot of releases, a lot of games. I'm hoping to maybe get my hands on Torn and have some comments on that. But that's going to go ahead and do it for the show today. This, of course, VR Game Rankings. Thanks for watching. Definitely subscribe to the channel if you could. Go ahead and tickle very gently the like button, like barely freaking touch that thing, but just touch it just enough to pop that little like on there. That would be sweet. And you know what? You guys are my best you guys tell a buddy, tell a buddy. If you got friends that are VR gamers and they're really into VR, tell them about this show, because there's a lot of people that probably just don't know about this show. Don't be irritating though. Just go ahead and tell somebody, say, hey man, this daily vlog is pretty cool. We talk about the daily VR news. Everybody hops into chat. It's kind of like a party, and we kind of kick back. T-Bone is in Vancouver, and he would have gone to Pac West, but he doesn't need the hassle at the border. Yeah, I've heard that it's a lot harder to transfer back and forth between the border than it used to be. Used to be you could just show them your ID and boom. Now you need like passports and shit. What's going on here? But anyway, yeah, I'll talk to everybody tomorrow, 11 a.m. Pacific time. See you guys then. Later.